TSM and Golden Guardians kick off their lower bracket runs this week, with TSM starting things off versus FlyQuest on Thursday, followed by Golden Guardians versus CLG Friday, and to be honest, neither of these teams has much of a chance.
There goes the Nexus turrets as you just get right back to the fountain, and Golden Guardians bring us to Game 5.
TSM clip the wings of FlyQuest, overcoming the first hurdle of their lower bracket run.
What's going on? I'm King Cole, and welcome back to the 5 Stack, where I give you 5 reasons why you should tune into the LCS. And you know what? Breezing past the insane upsets we had last week, we'll get to that later, the first reason is pretty simple. There's one LCS world slot left, and Team Liquid, CLG, TSM, and Evil Geniuses have to fight to the death to see who gets it. If you had told me at the beginning of the split that either TL or EG wasn't going to Worlds, I'd have laughed in your face. Well, look who's laughing now, me. Because after Team Liquid dropped Game 5 versus 100 Thieves and EG fell 3-1 to Cloud9, nothing makes sense anymore. There's even a chance either CLG or TSM get the spot, and both teams are nowhere to be found come Worlds. There are a lot of different ways this last weekend could shake out, but no matter what, it's gonna be high.
Still going for it. Red buff slow is on. Danny needs the move speed. And again is Fudge as the kill comes through. Berserker finds another.
Reason number 2 for tuning into this week's series, after what TSM, Golden Guardians, and Cloud9 were able to pull off last week, there's no way that we can count any of these teams out. 3 out of the 4 series that took place last week went the full 5 games. 8th place Golden Guardians wound up taking CLG to their limit, while TSM shocked the LCS when they took down FlyQuest. But the greatest upset of the weekend came when Cloud9 took a quantum leap forward and looked to be in complete control against the reigning champs. And with all the talks about how weak top lane is in this meta, you wouldn't really know it by watching these games, as the top lane has gotten a lot of attention in these series. Fudge, Someday, Bwipo, and even Solo have looked incredible at times, and it looks as if the Fudge factor might be fully online for Cloud9.
Damage is pretty good. Over the wall he goes, stays alive. Fudge gets a stun. Down goes Inspired. Danny's got a kite, but Fudge is tanky. Shot back in is a triple kill, and nothing else JoJo can do. 4 unanswered, and Baron this time will go to Cloud9.
On to our third reason to tune in this week. Today, CLG gets a chance at redemption against TL. While a lot of credit needs to be given to Golden Guardians for stepping up their play to compete with CLG last week, a decent amount of the blame has to be placed on CLG for playing down to their competition. By all intents and purposes, CLG should have crushed this matchup, and the fact that it wasn't should be slightly concerning for fans of Counterlogic Gaming. As a result, their matchup versus Team Liquid can pretty much go one of 2 ways. Either the series versus GG was a reality check that kicked them into gear to prepare for TL, or it boomed their mental and they're in for a rough season.
And it's going to be CLG getting everything else. River knows the season is over. A triple kill for Luger. CLG with the Bud Light ace.
Reason number 4, TSM top laner Solo made headlines when he said in an interview that there were plenty of teams in the playoffs that he thought TSM could beat. But one of the teams he probably wasn't talking about are their opponents on Friday, Evil Geniuses. But after their loss to Cloud9, EG has never looked more mortal, and it looks as if TSM are starting to find their footing. After a substitution in Game 3 of their series versus FlyQuest saw former LCS All-Pro and the league's favorite meme target Tactical return to the LCS after a brief academy stint. TSM were able to finish the series 2-1, upsetting FlyQuest and heading to the next round of the playoffs. While EG are still a tall task for TSM, this is still a roster with 2 well-regarded veterans in Maple and Solo, a former MVP in Spica, and support Chime was one of the finalists for Most Valuable Prospect in Academy last split. This roster has it in them to pull off a miracle. We'll just have to wait and see if they can make it happen.
He and the rest of the team upon them joining, so TSM get the pick. Another knock up here. Chime is here as well. Philip burned on down.
Maple!
They're all thrown out as the last attempt, but Maple putting in effect a nice throw into the wall. The multi-star going through for TSM. They get themselves the Bud Light Ace Quadra for Maple.
Finally, reason number 5, we haven't talked about EG or TL in detail all that much so far, and that's mainly because I was waiting for this. Because if TL and EG win their lower bracket matchups, then they'll have to face each other Sunday for the final world slot. Oh, what can I say about these 2 teams that hasn't already been said? None of us expected these two teams to be fighting for their lives in the lower bracket, and now, despite EG's initial choice to face Cloud9 in the upper bracket, they now find themselves against a super team that cannot afford to miss Worlds. With the expectations on both of these teams, Evil Geniuses being the defending champions and TL having the names they have on the roster, both orgs now find themselves with their backs against the wall, and an impending clash between these two squads with everything at stake is must-see TV.
Diving in for one, JoJo tries for the scoop, but Berserker stays alive! Vulcan shuts him down, but 3 dead for EG. It's gonna be just the man running away. Impact will be TP flanked, and he knows he's got nothing to do. A stun to buy some time, and gonna be shut down! Bottom line ace comes through. Cloud9 stay alive.
But that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. What are your predictions and hot takes for this week? Let me know in the comments below. As always, remember to like and subscribe. Take it easy, be kind, and I'll see you next time.